Well, take it. Take that next step. Face that challenge. Go out and do it. Don't ever regret. Don't look back and say, I wish I could have done that and I didn't when I had the opportunity. Even if you fail, but you took the challenge. You can't back away and say, I'm nervous, I'm afraid, I'm scared I might fail. No, you got to go out there and you got to challenge yourself and try to be the best you can be and accept the challenge, face the challenge, and work hard to be successful with it.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today I'm bringing you a Take the Doughnut interview with Mike Eruzione. I can't believe it. Mike is the captain of the gold medal winning 1980 Miracle on Ice U.S. hockey team and also the director of special outreach for Boston University. Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, such a pleasure to speak with you. I've long admired your achievements, but before we get into any of that, let me ask the obligatory question. What is your favorite donut, if you have one?
Well, as a kid, I used to love jelly donuts and honey dip donuts, and there was a little bakery in town before you went to school. I think it was maybe like 5 cents or 10 cents for the honey dip donuts, right? I mean, dip right in there. They were so good. But I probably haven't had a donut in a few years. But as a kid, jelly and honey dip.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the childhood memory attached to it. So I said just a little bit about who you are and what you've done off the top, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about you?
Well, obviously I was on captain of the '80 Olympic hockey team, but I live in my hometown where I grew up, a place called Winthrop, Massachusetts, right outside or inside of Boston, whichever way you want to look at it, right near Logan Airport. I've lived in the neighborhood for almost 70 years. Lived next door to the house I grew up in. My son lives directly behind me. My daughter lives 3 houses away. My wife grew up 4 houses from me. So, I mean, maybe those are things people don't know, but I still live in the town that I grew up in. My friends have been my friends for a long, long time. Even if we didn't win, I'll still be living here. So I try to keep things pretty simple. I do travel a lot. I still do a lot of motivational speaking. As you mentioned, I work at Boston University. I've been there almost 30 years at the university. Love to play golf. Have a bunch of different charity golf outings that I play in. Have my own charitable foundation called Winthrop Charities. I set it up quite a few years ago. I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and got, I think it was like $150,000 on the show. So I started a foundation and a charity in memory of my mom and dad. So I have a golf tournament every year in August for my foundation, and kind of having some fun still.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I mean, I can just see that you just really value the relationships in your life and you like to keep them long term. So this interview, to sort of set back a little bit here, this interview is a Take the Doughnut interview, and that is all about going after what you want in life. For me, Take the Doughnut is another way to say carpe diem. It all comes from this really weird thing that happened to me in college where I left an actual donut on a table, but it became an object lesson for me and what it looks like to leave opportunities behind. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut. And so this conversation is all about what it looks like, practically speaking, to go after the things that you want in life. So let me ask you this question to start with. How are you with going after goals? What is that process like, or has it been like for you?
Well, I think I always had that in my mind as a young kid and as a high school, athlete, and obviously at Boston University, always setting goals for myself to be the best I could be, to work hard to achieve success. I have an interesting, you talk about opportunities. Life is about opportunities and what you do with those opportunities when you get them. And I'll look at my life, and a perfect example is when I was in high school. I wasn't the greatest student in the world, but I was a pretty good athlete, and I played football, hockey, and baseball. And I went to prep school for a year up in Maine with the hopes of going to the University of New Hampshire. and I wanted to play football, hockey, and baseball at UNH. Well, as it turned out, the hockey coach didn't really think I was a Division I hockey player, so I had no school to go to. I put all my eggs in one basket. That I know how. Of course, I'm going to UNH. The football coach loved me. The baseball coach loved me, but unfortunately, the hockey coach didn't. So the only school that really talked to me was Merrimack College, and at the time they were a Division III school. They weren't Division I then. So I accepted the scholarship to go to Merrimack, and I think the tuition was like $3,500 in 1973. So in the summer, I didn't play hockey in the summer. I played baseball in the summer. And it was in July, I think it was, and a friend of mine called and he said, we have a summer league game, a hockey game. We need some players. Do you want to play? I said, well, you need players to play. I'll play. So I went and played in the game. And as it turned out, one of the referees in the game was a guy named Jack Parker. Now, Jack Parker at the time, and I didn't know this, was the assistant coach at Boston University. So when the game was over, Jack Parker came up to me and asked me where I was going. I told him I was going to Merrimack. And he said, we have a kid from Canada that decided not to come. Would you like to come to Boston University? Now, BU at the time was coming off back-to-back national championships and arguably one of the greatest hockey schools in the country. And I said, well, I have a full scholarship. He goes, no, it's a full scholarship. It was, again, tuition about the same, about $3,500, $3,600. So he says, we'd love to have you here. So I said, let me go home and talk to my dad. So I went home and sat with my dad, and my dad said, what are you going to do? I said, I can play there, Dad. I'm going to go to BU. So I go to Boston University. Well, Jack Parker's the assistant coach. Leon Abbott was the head coach. And I wasn't really playing a lot at the beginning, but just before Christmas, Leon Abbott got fired. Jack Parker became the head coach, and Jack Parker would go on and coach 40 years at Boston University. But he pulled me aside, and he said, just keep working hard. He says, you're a good player, and I like the way you play. Long story short, again, like I said, Jack Parker becomes the head coach. So I go from centering the fourth line to playing second line left wing and led our team in goal scoring my freshman year. So I tell you the story because it's about an opportunity. If I didn't play in that summer league game, I never would have gone to BU. And if I had never would have gone to BU, I clearly wouldn't have been on an Olympic team, 4 or 5 years later, because coming out of Boston University, the powerhouse hockey program that it was, gave me a lot of way to showcase my skills and gave me an avenue to become a better player, playing against the best players in the country. So that opportunity is what makes life for everybody interesting. But I could have gone to that game and just went through the motions because it was only a summer league game. Who cares? But that's not the way I played. My dad always told me, you play hard, you work hard. If you're playing baseball and you get a walk, you don't walk to first base, you run to first base. So I think those kind of things were, when I was taught at a young age about hard work and determination, were things that I had inbred in me and instilled in me. And that's just the way I was. So, yeah, I always had goals to be the best and to be successful.
And you never know, if you say yes to this thing right in front of you, what that will lead to, what a journey that was for you. So when you start going after something that you want, and you've gone after some really big goals in life, what keeps you motivated along the way?
I just wanted to be the best. I want to be successful. When I speak at a sales meeting, and I've been doing a lot of them for 40 something years, I want it to be special. I want it to be one that people remember when it's over and just go kind of through the motions. That's not the way I am. I'm probably drives my wife a little crazy sometimes, but I want to be successful in everything that I do. And I know not every day is a great day. I mean, let's be realistic here. Sometimes things don't go the way you want them to go, but that makes you more determined, makes you work harder to get back on the horse, so to speak, and get back in line. And the success that you want, it's you're not lucky. I've never met a person that's successful because they're lucky. People are successful because they work hard. Again, I'll use something my dad said to me. He said, if you understand the value of work, at some point in your life, you'll be successful. And it might not be today or tomorrow, but when you're the best at what you do, it'll be the time and effort and work that you put in. And that's kind of the things that I rule by now. It's time, effort, and work. I'd like to talk about having pride in yourself, pride in your friends, respect. I'm a big believer in respecting people. Respect people, they'll respect you. If people don't respect you and people don't trust you, then you're in trouble. So I think I carry myself in a way that I hope people respect me and trust me. And if you have those qualities, usually good things are going to happen.
Absolutely. Let's talk about challenges. A lot of times you're going after something that you want, and there are obstacles that come up along the way. I'm curious for you, is there a particular brand of challenge that just keeps rearing its head for you no matter what you've done in life?
Yeah, I can't putt anymore. But my golf game is my challenge right now. But no, you know what? Challenges are part of life. You're going to have them. And there are going to be some challenges that don't work out the way you want them to work out. But that doesn't mean you don't stop, challenging yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't stop because one challenge didn't work. But I think if you have a goal, again, like I'll talk about it, to be the best, usually good things are going to happen for you. And it's not easy. There are a lot of, like you said, challenges out there that sometimes it doesn't fall in place for you. But that doesn't mean you quit. You keep working hard, and you'll be more successful than not when you face those challenges.
Absolutely. I don't know how you're going to pick what to say for this answer, but what is the biggest donut you've ever taken? If you think back across your life, what was the biggest opportunity? You mentioned one earlier, and maybe that was it, but what feels like the biggest one for you?
I think clearly, going to Boston University to play hockey, and that was a huge challenge because nobody thought I could play Division I hockey. So I proved them wrong in that challenge, and I was very successful in my 4 years at Boston University. I graduated as the second all-time leading scorer. I'm in their Hall of Fame. So when the challenges were put in front of me, where nobody thought I could play at that level, I accepted that challenge and proved them all wrong. So then that was the challenge, and because of my success at Boston University, the next challenge really was to make the '80 Olympic team. And people wondered, hey, is he good enough to make the Olympic team? Well, I proved that I was, and not only made the team, I was the captain of the team. So I think I have these challenges that I look back on, and I was very successful at them because you love the challenge, prove people wrong, and I've been doing that basically my whole life.
Yeah. Is there a donut that you're taking right now? Something that's in progress for you?
Not really. Just every day, get up tomorrow, go to Boston University, do a good job at work. I've got some speaking engagements coming up, and hopefully, go there and do a good job at those. So, there are different things in my life that I'm doing, work related, that are always challenges. And I have, like I said, I have my own charitable foundation. We have a big golf tournament coming up in August. I raise money. So that's a challenge to go out there and get support for my event and raise money for my foundation. So it's probably a different challenge than speaking at a sales meeting, but it is still a challenge for me to be successful with my charitable organization.
There may be people listening to this who have something they want to go after in their own lives. Maybe they've started and they've kind of stalled along the way, or maybe it's still an idea for them. So let's sprinkle some encouragement. And what would you say to those people who have a donut they want to take? They just don't know what the next step is.
Well, take it. Take that next step. Face that challenge. Go out and do it. Don't ever regret. Don't look back and say, I wish I could have done that and I didn't when I had the opportunity. Even if you fail, but you took the challenge. You can't back away and say, I'm nervous, I'm afraid, I'm scared, I might fail. No, you got to go out there and you got to challenge yourself and try to be the best you can be, and accept the challenge, face the challenge, and work hard to be successful with it.
Well said. If we want to keep in touch with what's happening for you or for Boston University, where can we follow you?
Well, I'm on Twitter. So I think it's just Eruzione on Twitter. I really clueless when it comes to social media. I'm not on Facebook or anything like that. My email is at Boston University. You can find me at eruzione.bu.edu, like education. But I do have I am on Twitter, and I don't do a lot of tweeting. But usually it's if I have a comment to make about something, I will. But I'm not a real social media guy.
I mean, you have so many relationships in your life that are really strong relationships you need to keep active on. So
yeah,
who has time for social media with all that? Right.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm pretty active and I'm pretty busy, but I enjoy the things that I'm doing, and if I can go out there and help others, and like I said, I try to get involved in a lot of different charitable organizations. So it's nice to give back. It's nice to play Santa Claus at Christmas when I can buy presents for families and turkeys for families and food for Thanksgiving for families. So again, those are challenges that I have that I want to continue to do and make people happy.
This is so wonderful. Well, first of all, everybody be sure to check out those resources that Mike just shared. And if you liked hearing his story, and of course you did, be sure to like and subscribe on this video because there's so many inspirational interviews still to come. But in the meantime, Mike, thank you so much for taking time and talking with me, talking with all of us about this big concept of going after opportunity in life.
Well, I did write a book. It's called The Making of a Miracle. So if anybody wants to read my life story, it was put out by HarperCollins, and it actually became a bestseller. So The Making of a Miracle is a book that I wrote, and I think you'd enjoy it.
I'm going to see if there's a link that I can find for that, and I'll add it to the description as well. It's wonderful.
Great.
Thank you so much for doing this,
Okay,
Mike. And to everybody who's listening.
Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you. And to everybody who's listening, you know what to do. Get inspiration, get donuts. Bye, everybody.
Bye.